Hello, how's it going there? This is the Hillbilly halfwit Gaza, and we're talking about a big lump of gold that's been found over the last while. Before I go any further, thank you all for tuning in and comment, rating, and subscribing and sharing this stuff out there, because we need people to share this stuff out to get the channel a little more visibility and for people to see this fraudulent activity in Wales. And also, in between, we'll be doing things like this to keep people interested. So this was one I saw yesterday. It's about a guy who went metal detecting and he found a huge lump of gold. I haven't actually read it all, so I'll be reading it with you now. Talk about striking gold. Metal detectorists unearthed the largest gold nugget ever found in England, and it's set to fetch at least 30,000 at auction. Now, you would be very surprised to see this. I've got an Equinox 900, and I'm always finding small little bits of gold with it. I know you probably don't believe me, but they're minute little things. So some of these detectors are very, very sensitive on things like that. Richard Brock, 67, joined an expedition on farmland in the Shropshire Hills. He unearthed a 68.8 gram gold nugget, which is set to fetch 30,000 at auction. So that must have been something else. You must have thought that was not gold, wouldn't you? Richard Brock, 67, travelled 3.5 hours from his home in Somerset to join an organised expedition on farmland. On arrival, he found he had difficulty with his detecting kit and had to resort to using a dodgy old machine which was not even working properly. See, the trouble with that is lots of these older machines are very, very good, and if you're not used to them, they detect a lot more than you usually discriminate against. So that could have helped him out there. So it's named Hero's Nugget. A metal lump is now set to fetch at least 30,000. But moments later, Richard, who had been metal detecting for 35 years, discovered the biggest find of his life and unearthed the huge golden nugget. Named Hero's Nugget, the metal lump is now set to fetch... Yeah, we've heard that bit. It's quite an odd-shaped thing. Looks like a big shoe, doesn't it? Despite having a faulty metal detector. I think he didn't. He had a good metal detector. Dad of 4, Richard said, I've been detecting since 1989 and decided to join the trip as a similar previous one to Australia was cancelled during the pandemic. So I drove 3.5 hours to Shropshire and actually arrived in an hour late, thinking I'd missed the action. Everyone there had all this up-to-date kit, and I bowled up with 3 old machines, and one of them packed in there and then. At first, I found a few rusty old tent pegs with this backup detector, which had a fade-in screen display. But after only 20 minutes of scanning the ground, I found this nugget buried about 5 or 6 inches down in the ground. It was perhaps a bit too honest and started showing people. And then all of a sudden, I had swarms of other detectorists scanning the same area. I've witnessed that myself. If you go to any of these metal detecting digs, my advice to everybody, if you find a hammered coin or anything of any good, is do not tell anybody till you've done that area. Because I saw one place, I think I've got a video of it a couple of years ago, where this guy found about 2 hammered coins, big uns, and he told the people, and before you could say boo to a goose, there's everybody from every other field went detecting in that area. It was unbelievable. So there we are. There's Gaz's bit of advice. Find everything you can first before telling anybody in that area. The machine I was using was pretty much kaput. It was only half working. It just goes to show it doesn't really matter what equipment you use. Well, it does, but sometimes the discrimination you're using, especially in passive detecting, can hurt you more than hinder you. And if he picked up that metal detector and it was just an old one on what would mine be like, for instance? trying to think of one. The older ones I got there now, well, them are very, very accurate on gold. If you're walking over the find and you are alert enough to what might be lurking under the soil, that makes the difference. I couldn't believe I turned up late, and I was only there a matter of minutes, and this treasure hunting expedition was supposed to be the last all day. I couldn't look for anything else as I had the landowner, the organiser of the dig, and every other detectorist around me, trying to get a look at the nugget. Just what a gold nugget was doing in the Shropshire Hills near Much Wenlock remains somewhat of a mystery. But parts such as the Wenlock Edge is an ancient landscape which was once under prehistoric ocean, and hunters often find remnants of coral in the area. There was also a large amount of rock which originally came from Wales, a country known to be rich in gold. I wish, eh? Richard's discovery was made on a site believed to have been an old track or road with railway lines running through, containing stone possibly distributed from Wales. Oh, that's interesting. Only previous bigger examples in Britain have been found in either Wales or Scotland. Yeah, I read that then, didn't I? The only previous bigger examples in Britain have been found in either Wales or Scotland. The Douglas nugget found in Perthshire weighed 85.7 grams. Another from the shores of Anglesey weighed 97.12 grams. And the Reunion nugget found in Scotland in 2019 weighed 121 grams. Jesus. There we are, look, 64.8 grams. I'll be looking forward to finding one of them. I find a good bit of gold. I have to say, I'm very lucky on gold. Some of my friends or just find silver all the time. But I have to say, I find more gold than silver. I always say it's because I'm really concentrating on low signals. So if you don't know metal detecting, you have a VDI that goes from 0 to 100 or 0 to 40 when you go over a target, and then you have it going in the iron. Now, when I found gold, 50% of the time it's been down right at the bottom, close to iron. So I concentrate on two-way signals down there, which most people don't bother with. So I've been pretty lucky on gold myself, to be fair. Retired cameraman Richard added, upon doing some research, we could only find bigger than this in Wales and Scotland. I did contact the Finds Liaison Officer, and they were happy for me to do with it what I wanted. So I thought I want to try selling it at auction. I'm going to split whatever it sells for with the landowner. I found it last night, but I've only recently learned it could be the biggest. It's quite incredible, really. Auctioneers Mullock Jones is offering a nugget for sale in a timed auction, which began last weekend and runs until April 1st. April 1st, that's a bit suspect, isn't it? With an estimate of 30,000. Ben Jones of the Auctioneer said, we are expecting considerable interest in this item. It's a rare opportunity to acquire a stunning gold nugget. We're offering it as a single item to online bidders from March the 15th and ended on 6 p.m. on April the 1st. The Treasure Act facilitates the purchasing of finds as both national and local museums for the benefit of the public. I've been telling you about this. This has changed a bit lately. If anything's over 300 years old now, it's considered treasure. And you're supposed to contact anybody, so with a reward from such typically given and split between the finder and the landowner. The size of the rewards are equal to the full market value of the finds, as determined by the Secretary of State following guidance from independent panel of experts called the Treasure Valuation Committee. The Act also helps to guide what is and isn't considered as treasure, with a final determination for individual items made at an inquest. At present, the following, for example, are defined as treasures. Finds of 2 or more 300-year-old coins, years old or older coins from the same location, so 2 or more, unless they contain less than 10% of gold or silver, in which case there must be at least 10 in the find to qualify as treasure. Well, I did not know that. Well, I've learned something. So I'll read that again. Finds of 2 or more 300-year-old or older coins from the same location, unless they contain less than 10% gold or silver, in which case there must be at least 10 in the find to qualify as treasure. Well, that has changed. I'm sure it used to be 6. I'm sure it was 6 or something like that. But anyway, 2 or more prehistoric base metal objects found in association. Any non-coin artifact that is at least 300 years old and contains at least 10% gold or silver. Any object found in the same place as another treasure. Deliberately hidden objects whose owners or heirs are unknown that are less than 300 years old but are made predominantly of gold and silver. However, following a public consultation last year, a new definition is to be developed in the future, one which will account for the cultural and historical significance of a find, rather than just its whatever. Well, that's quite interesting, isn't it? So, there's a nugget they found. A little bit bigger than a 50p piece. So, that's a good day for that chap, isn't it? So, this is just a short one today. Hope you enjoyed it. I can't just do fraud all the time. Everybody will get bored. So, I thought this one would be for my detectorist friends as well. So, all the best, guys, and comment, rate, and subscribe for more.